Good morning. And about ready to say goodbye to 2023. What a fucking wretched year this has been. What a wretched year. Today is December 29th. It's Friday. 2021, December 29th of 2021 was the last day that I got really, really drunk. And December 30th was my first day of sobriety. So tomorrow will be 2 years of sobriety, man. You know what I'm saying? Cheers. So I'm celebrating today with a Perdomo and a cup of, not Starbucks coffee, but it's coffee. Today I'm going to do a video. My last, I'm still getting over that cold. I feel much better, but I'm still getting over the cold. It's kind of loosening up. But today's my last video, or my video is on the last final finds of 2023. And I ordered some, but they're like coming from California. So I'm probably not going to see them till probably next year, which is fine. I've got the Dynacos hooked up. Give you a little update on the Dynacos. If you're familiar with Dynacos, I don't want to sound like a smartass, but they sound like Dynacos, okay? And I say that in a good sense because by Dynaco ST120, it sounds like a solid state Sansui, okay? It sounds more Sansui sounding, even though it probably has a Dynaco transformer. Now the Mark IIIs, they sound like tube amps. I mean, they totally sound tube. Okay, so, and they don't sound, I wouldn't say they sound perfect. Okay, they don't have the perfect sound. They're kind of heavy sounding. They do have a lot of detail. They produce in layers, so you get, depending on where you're sitting, how you're positioned, the sound stage, to me, is very magical. I love it. It's almost like my old SCA 35 integrated amp I used to have. It was very liquidy. The sound liquefied into the atmosphere. These Mark IIIs do the same thing, which is very nice. So let's get through these records here. I'm going to talk to you guys about some records real quick. Picked up some nice records to listen to this week. I haven't listened. I think I've listened to all of them except for one. Now, show you this record. Now, the reason I picked this up is I was at a thrift store, and this was down in there for nothing, man. It was nothing, so I picked it up. It's a Jimi Hendrix, Band of Gypsies album. And it was sitting there, and I was like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? What do you do? You got this record probably. I've got it. Everybody's got it. What do you do when there's a decent copy? Now, it's not perfect shape, but it's in pretty decent shape. What do? Do you leave it sit there, or do you take it? I picked it up. I cleaned it up, and I played it. It plays nice. I'd say it's an old copy. It's not a reissue. So I picked that up. I've got better albums than that coming through. And when I say better, better meaning things you might be more interested in. Give you a little update on this album. I cleaned this album. You can't find that spot. There was a big whammo on the record. You can't find it now, and it plays beautiful. It plays perfect. So I got real fortunate on that deal. Now let's get into some things that are a little bit more relevant. It's kind of cold here in Ohio, but I picked this up this week. This is a 2022 release from Tyson Go. It is indeed an acoustic release. I love it. It's still in this shrink wrap, and it's got the sticker on it. How much money I paid for it, all that. I don't care. I'm probably going to leave it on. This record was very, very enjoyable to listen. If you're familiar with Tyson Go, he's kind of a grunge hard rocker, man. And I seen that he put out an acoustic album. I was just thumbing through the records and I seen it. And so I grabbed it, man. And I want to pull it out and I want to show you the vinyl because this is an exceptional, I paid $24. This is an exceptional record, okay? The quality is above your standard. It's above par, man. He did a fantastic job producing this album. And I just want to show it to you. You have to excuse the hairs on it. Stuff from we're hairy creatures here. It says, hello, hi. Look at this label. Drag City Incorporated. Stereophonic. The label itself is just absolutely stunning. It says a Drag City Gold Label release, man. And I'm telling you, it is. The sound quality is phenomenal. The press quality is phenomenal. You can't tell, but this is probably not a 180. This is probably like a 200-gram album. This thing feels like a 78, man. And you could look at the dead wax there. It is just packed with Tyson Go acoustic guitar. Fantastic album. And honestly, I wouldn't know anybody. Honestly, I wouldn't. If somebody said that they don't like this album, I would have to question them. I would say, why would you even say such a thing? Why would you say that you don't like this album? This album here, this is a fantastic album. Now, is it gonna blow you away like some of the probably not, but it is an absolutely beautiful album. Tyson Go did a fantastic fucking job on this album. I enjoyed this album. It sounded fantastic, especially on my gear in the house. Really, really, really enjoyed that album. Okay. Now this next album, I haven't listened to this yet, but I do enjoy the Shins. I see this there. It was the Shins. It says live at Third Man Records. And it was $14.99. I'm a big fan of live albums. It's got 8 songs on it. Nashville, Tennessee. It was recorded 10/6 of 2012. I haven't listened to this yet. I love the Shins, though. I think they're fantastic. Next up, it's a Toko Bastogi. This is a band called Iron and Wine. Okay. These guys are indie folk. Okay, indie folk. So it's like folk music, modern, and it has the modern indie vibe going with it. The singer, Sam Beam, I think is what his name is. Sam Beam. B-E-A-M, I do believe. Killer album, man. This is just a phenomenal album. I have more Iron and Wine. It says here the name of this album is Our Endless Numbered Days. I played this last night, man, and it was just so relaxing, man. Just his voice, okay? I mean, that's, this guy, he's kind of like Neil Young, okay? Now, I know that's probably a bad example, okay? Because a lot of people don't like Neil Young's voice. His voice is better than Neil Young's, okay? But he reminds me of Neil Young because he has this indie talent. Okay, he has the ability to write a song and to produce it and sing it, and like Neil Young, and a lot of people, like the Beatles, like John Lennon did. But yeah, he's on that level. Very, very good. Picked that up this week. And then I see this. And this is 12/8. This was released 12/8 of 23. This is their first live studio album. Okay, now, one of the albums that I ordered was a live album from Third Man Records. It was recorded years ago. But this is their first studio live album. This thing is fantastic. Okay? It is Iron and Wine. Who Can See Forever? It's a soundtrack. I don't know the movie. I don't know whatever. But there's a picture of Sam on the back. Sam is a character, man, to say the least. So if you're not familiar with Iron and Wine, get familiar with them. Pull them up on your Spotify and listen to them. I think you possibly could enjoy their music. Now, this next record I picked up just merely for curiosity. I was just like, there's no way that I can't pick this up. Yes, you're seeing it. This is Roy Orbison, Way. Okay, Hank Williams. Okay, it's Roy Orbison doing Hank Williams songs, man. Okay. It was $3.99. Okay, I couldn't pass it up. I said, okay, it's a promo DJ copy, whatever, Roy Orbison's fantastic, okay? Now, let me tell you what my impression of this album. This is probably one of those things that he probably shouldn't have done, okay? Roy probably shouldn't have done this album. I'm not saying it's bad, okay? It's not bad. It's not Hank Williams, though, man. It is totally more Roy Orbison, okay? This is definitely more Roy Orbison than Hank Williams. Yeah, you have horns on there, you have the big band thing going. I mean, very interesting album, though. I don't regret picking it up. It'll go into my country collection, it's... it'll be something that people will listen to out of curiosity, I think, because Roy Orbison is fantastic. He's just fucking great. But for him to do a Hank Williams album, I couldn't. I'm not going to let it sit there for $4. I'm curious. There's probably a couple good songs on the album, but my initial opinion is he probably shouldn't have done it to begin with. I don't know why he would even go there, Why would you go there? Now, I can understand why, we have like Conway Twitty does Hank Williams. You even have Hank Williams Jr. doing Hank Williams. They've got all these different artists that do, but Roy Orbison, yes, that would be, yeah. It was very curious album. Then I see this there. This was another album that I picked up out of curiosity. Um, Soul Sauce by Cal Jader. And I didn't know nothing about this, okay? So it's on the Verb. It's an old 19, this is a 1965 on the Verb, man. So I took it up to the front. The guy at the record store, Mega Music, man, he knows about jazz, man. And I showed him this album, and man, there's just a ton. There's a ton. These are all the people performing on this album, right? And basically, to make a long story short, if he said it, if I like Latin jazz, I'd probably really enjoy this. So I put this on yesterday, and he was right. I really enjoyed this album. This was a fun spin. It is Latin jazz, man. So, and it's old. It's probably not for everybody. It's probably not for everybody, but it is so cool. Now, let me explain something to you. It's got a Tabasco. Okay, so I think that this album was from made back down in Louisiana. Hot sauce is made down in Louisiana on an island or something down there. But it says this little statement on the back of the album here. It says the dress of the soul sauce bottle on the cover of this album was inspired by Tabasco sauce manufactured exclusively by McCade Company, Avery Island, Louisiana. It says it right there. I don't know what that means. I don't know why they put that on there, but yeah, I mean, this is just fantastic. If you like Latin music, you definitely would enjoy this album. It's a fun spin, man. And then I picked this up, an old Les McCade album here. This is a 1969 stereo on the Atlantic. And the condition of this thing is beautiful. It plays fantastic. And the name of the album is called Much Less. Kind of reminds me of the old Sesame Street. Remember they used to do that 70s thing back in Sesame Street. This is pretty old though. This was a fun spin. This is the old jazz album here. And then I picked this up. I picked this guitar up. It was nothing, It was very, very cheap. It's in very good condition. Guitar Silk Road. It needs cleaned up. I'm gonna clean it up today. It's on Grandma Vision. But there you have it, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I've been enjoying my Dynacos. I have a couple Shure cartridges. The Shure M44-7, man. I talk about them all the time. And I put that on my VPI this week, man. And I'm telling you what, that cartridge is one of my favorite cartridges. It sounds not perfect. It doesn't sound perfect, but it sounds so good. It sounds so good. Now, most cartridges that you put on your turntable are 2 millivolts, 2 to 2.5. And I'm talking about moving magnet cartridges. Low output cartridges, they're like 0.5 millivolts. Okay, you need a special setup to run a low output coil cartridge. Now, the Shure M44-7, it offers 9.5 millivolts of output. I mean, it is a very hot cartridge, man. And I just absolutely, I'm telling you, if you ever heard one, put one on your turntable for like a week. by the end of that week, you're going to be glad you own that cartridge. It is fantastic, man. This week, I got on LP gear, okay? And I bought me a Vivid Line stylus and cantilever to go on my 44-7, right? And it's a little bit, it brings things together a little bit, okay? Because, like I said, it's not a perfect cartridge. It's a little on the sloppy side, but it's very, the sound stage is broad, so it makes up for the shortcomings in other places. So I ordered this Vivid Line with this, I don't know what I don't think it's not a Shibata, but it's some type of designed stylus, and it brings things together, okay? It brings things together better on my 44-7. It's in the break-in period, so it's still hasn't, it takes a little while for these things to break in. But I really enjoy that cartridge, man. I really enjoy it. And that's what's on there. And it'll probably stay on there for a while. Probably be on there for a while. So, thanks for watching. Man, I love all you guys. You guys, please be safe during the holiday season. And have a happy new year, man. Brother Brian's out of here.